Israel might have done with these camp settlements just as Joe Biden was coming to visit. I mean, I don't know. The tit for tat seems overdone.
It is overdone. First of all, we've had this problem with the Israelis for many, many years, namely the issue of going ahead with settlements when we tell them, no, naughty, naughty, you shouldn't do it. But, you know, I've never seen anyone who is as amateurish in the conduct of his foreign relations as this president. I mean, he may not be happy with what the Israelis are doing or what Netanyahu is doing, but you do not advertise your unhappiness with one of your best allies if what that's going to do is encourage some of your worst enemies to think, well, maybe we can take a crack at the Israelis because the Americans won't do anything. It's dumb, and it's what he's done time and time again. He can't seem to learn.
Well, you know, the next thing, you know, they're going to start boycotting a news network. I mean, that would be... Oh, wait a minute. All right, so let me get a sense of the different treatment France gets. And this is a country not too long ago that has not been certainly a loyal or consistent pal. But no, that's neither here nor there. I just think consistency is in order, and if you're going to defeat, you know, Nicolas Sarkozy, you should at least provide the same for the only democracy leader in the Middle East.
That's right.
But they don't.
And
they don't.
You know,
I mean, why wasn't that made a big deal? I was in Washington, Secretary, when this was going on last week, and I'm telling you, it was as if Benjamin Netanyahu was like, where's Waldo? I mean, no one knew where he was. I mean, and he was just hanging out in the White House, and so flummoxed, he leaves, for all I know, you know, in a Winnebago back to the Israeli embassy.
Listen, Netanyahu is, first of all, he's a tough guy. This is probably, it's going to make him angry maybe the way he's being treated, but it's not going to upset him too much. And the fact of the matter is that we're showing our amateurishness every time we do this sort of thing, and this president can't get it through his head that his actions have consequences outside what he thinks they may be.
Well, he must have thought those through, though. But Larry, he must have thought those through. And he must have figured, I know how this is going to reverberate here, and I know how it's going to reverberate in Israel. And that's exactly the lesson I want to get out there. What do you make of that?
Yeah, maybe. But it reverberates in places like Iran and other places that don't like the Iranians much. And one of these days, they're going to say, you know, the Americans who used to be so supportive aren't quite so supportive anymore. Maybe we can do some things to Israel and the Americans won't do anything. He's playing with fire here, and he's playing with dynamite, and he doesn't understand it. And you would think after almost 2 years in office he would understand it, but he doesn't. And then I listened to you a minute ago talking about what's going on with NASA.
Wow.
This country's not going to be the same when this president is through.
John Kennedy rolling in his grave to find out that NASA is now fixing cars, but that's a whole other thing. Larry Eagleburger, a real pleasure.
We're tearing things down that don't need, that we've had terrible time building up. And can you imagine what we've done to build this relationship with Israel?
It is amazing. It's amazing.
And now we take it.
Okay, the scene right now at the White House. More after this.
At the French press.